So we just talked about the movie technique, the silent movie technique and tell the story movie technique. You've got a memory you want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in adulthood?
Yes.
Is it shortish?
Yes.
A few minutes, that sort of thing. Okay, and so you know that you can do this silently in your head, or you can do it tell the story. Which way would you prefer?
Like to do silent in the head.
Okay, so silent in the head. Do you have a movie title?
I do.
Okay, so when you focus on that movie title, just notice where you're feeling it in your body, and it's just the title.
In my throat.
In your throat. And what is it out of 10?
6.
Is there an emotion?
Yes, anxiety.
Even though I've got this anxiety in my throat.
Even though I've got this anxiety in my throat.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
When I focus on my movie title.
When I focus on... Do I just say movie
just
title?
Movie title.
Movie title.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And how I feel.
And how I feel.
Even though I've got this 6 out of 10 anxiety in my throat.
Even though I've got this 6 out of 10 anxiety in my throat.
When I focus on my movie title.
When I focus on my movie title.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And how I feel.
And how I feel.
Even though I've got this 6 out of 10 anxiety in my throat.
Even though I've got this 6 out of 10 anxiety in my throat.
When I focus on my movie title.
When I focus on my movie title.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And how I feel.
And how I feel.
This anxiety in my throat, top of the head.
This anxiety in my throat.
I can feel this anxiety.
I can feel this anxiety.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Anxiety in my throat.
Anxiety in my throat.
My movie title.
My movie title.
My movie title.
My movie title.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Anxiety in my throat.
Anxiety in my throat.
All this anxiety in my throat.
All this anxiety in my throat.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Anxiety in my throat.
Anxiety in my throat.
My movie title.
My movie title.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Anxiety in my throat.
Anxiety in my throat.
My movie title.
My movie title.
All this anxiety.
All this anxiety.
Trapped in my throat.
Trapped in my throat.
My movie title.
My movie title.
Anxiety in my throat.
Anxiety in my throat.
So go to the 9 gamut just between little finger and ring. Just focus on the title of your movie, not the whole movie, just the title.
Yeah, I've pulled myself back.
Just the title of the movie. Say those words in your head. Feel the anxiety in the throat. Keeping your head still, close your eyes. Open your eyes. Look hard down to the left. Look hard down to the right. Circle your eyes slowly in one direction. Circle your eyes slowly in the other direction. Hum happy birthday. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum happy birthday. This anxiety in my throat.
This anxiety in my throat.
When I think of the movie title.
When I think of the movie title.
It's already coming down.
It's coming down. It's really coming down.
This anxiety in my throat.
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 It's already coming down.
It's already coming down.
When I think of the movie title.
When I think of the movie title.
Releasing this anxiety in my throat.
Releasing this anxiety in my throat.
So I could see by her body language that it was coming down, and when I said it's already coming down, she confirmed that. So when you think of the movie title only now, those words, how's the throat?
Good.
Is the anxiety still there anywhere in the body?
Anxiety's gone. I can still feel like a shadow in the throat, but there's no anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's that out of 10, that shadow?
3, but I think it's also because I fast forwarded during that process. Yeah.
So is that low enough for you to want to move on?
Yeah.
So with that movie title, I want you, and that short frame of the movie, I want you to find a neutral place where there's no emotion.
Yep.
Okay, so see how she was looking up into, I've got to find that. Alright, so give that a colour too if you want. What colour would that neutral place be?
Yeah, it's sky blue.
Sky blue. So when they're doing silent movie technique, you can't physically take them to a place, but you can take them to a colour that they now relate to that neutral place. Right, so going back to that blue neutral place, I want you to start going through in your mind, you tap on the karate chop point, going through in your mind silently through that movie and stop when you're at a place where the emotional charge starts coming up. Tell me when you're there.
There.
And what's there for you in your body right now?
Charge again in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a lump, like I can't talk, and anxiety in my stomach.
Mm-hmm. And what are they out of 10? Lump in the throat, can't talk, out of 10?
10.
And stomach?
8.
8. So it's anxiety in your stomach?
Anxiety in my stomach.
And lump in my throat.
Lump in my throat.
10 and 8.
10 and 8.
And is it from what you saw, heard, felt? Felt?
And saw together,
And saw.
yeah.
Even though I'm at that part of the memory
Even though I'm at that part of the memory
where what I saw and felt
where what I saw and felt
is reflected in my body,
is reflected in my body,
and I feel it like a lump in the throat.
I feel it like a lump in my throat.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And I feel anxiety, 8 out of 10 in my stomach.
And I feel anxiety, 8 out of 10 in my stomach.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I'm at that part of my movie,
Even though I'm at that part of my movie,
from what I saw and what I felt,
from what I saw and what I felt,
and I feel a 10 out of 10 lump in my throat like I can't speak.
and I feel a 10 out of 10 lump in my throat like I can't speak.
And I feel 8 out of 10 anxiety in my stomach.
And I feel 8 out of 10 anxiety in my stomach.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I'm at that part in the movie,
Even though I'm at that part in the movie,
from what I saw and what I felt,
from what I saw and what I felt,
I feel a lump in my throat like I can't talk.
I feel a lump in my throat like I can't talk.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And anxiety in my stomach, 8 out of 10.
And anxiety in my stomach, 8 out of 10.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
This lump in my throat
This lump in my throat
feels like I can't talk.
feels like I can't talk.
When I remember what I saw and what I felt,
When I remember what I saw and what I felt,
I feel this 8 out of 10 anxiety in my stomach.
I feel this 8 out of 10 anxiety in my stomach.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
Feels like I can't speak.
Feels like I can't speak.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
Feels like I can't speak.
I can't speak.
When I remember what I saw and I felt,
When I remember what I saw and what I felt,
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
This 10 out of 10 lump in my throat.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
And I remember what I saw.
And I remember what I saw.
And I remember what I felt.
And I remember what I felt.
Go to the gamut. Everything I remember when I saw what I saw.
Everything I remember when I saw what I saw.
That lump in my throat.
That lump in my throat.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Look hard down to the left. Hard down to the right. Circle your eyes in one direction. Circle your eyes in the other direction. Just follow my hand up here. What you saw. Okay. Hum happy birthday. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw.
What I saw.
That lump in my throat.
That lump in my throat.
What I felt.
What I felt.
That lump in my throat.
That lump in my throat.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
What I saw.
What I saw.
That lump in my throat.
That lump in my throat.
So I went from lump in the throat and stomach to begin with, but then I focused on lump in the throat. So when you tune into that lump in your throat now, and I can't speak, what's that come down to?
It's pretty much gone. So, yeah.
And what about anxiety in the stomach?
3. Yeah.
So does that feel like
It feels
gone
okay.
enough?
It feels good enough. Yeah.
What I felt was the lump in the throat was bigger. It was 10 out of 10 and that was 8. So I focused on just that one because when she turned it from I feel like I can't speak to I can't speak, that was the strongest. So I went with that to focus on that. But then I made sure I tested the anxiety in the stomach, and that's come down because it was connected with that.
Very much, yeah, spot on.
So going back to the neutral place, that blue,
Yeah.
and then running through the movie, through that part from what you saw and what you felt, then moving through to the next part. And let me know when the emotional charge goes up again.
No, we've got it. We've got it because I've done a lot of work on the I can't speak bit since then.
Mm-hmm.
What I hadn't done was worked through what happened in that moment, in those moments. So there's work I can do, definitely, but it's not, it's around a 3. And yeah.
So when you think about that, and this is an option for you for testing, and you don't have to, but if you have got that emotional charge down enough, do you want to speak it out loud?
Sure. Yep.
What's the title of the movie?
So the title of the movie is The Priest and the Christening.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that now, has that brought anything else up? Just the title?
Yeah, it's brought a rumbling in my stomach up.
And what's it up to?
But it's
still okay?
It's under 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so are you okay to start from the neutral place and tell me, so just keep tapping the karate chop point, tell me the whole thing and then just stop if it's come up.
Sure. So I had to go right back to the night before to find the neutral place, because the build-up was around, so this is my birth family, who I know them all, and it was around my sister-in-law and the christening of her son. Mm-hmm. And there'd been a lot of anxiety and other things building up in my relationship with the birth family because somebody else said it this morning. They were like, well, can't you just get over it and move on? Isn't it time? Mm-hmm. What's wrong with you? All that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'd had stuff building up that I hadn't yet worked with. Mm-hmm. So when I got up that morning, I could start to feel it building, the anxiety. But I was going to just honour them and the relationship. Mm-hmm. And then we fast forward to arriving in the car park at the church, and I see everyone.
Mm-hmm. And okay, you just swallowed. Has that come up again?
Yeah.
So see, I noticed straight away. So what's that out of 10 now when you see everyone in the car park?
It's probably, that probably went up to about a 7.
Mm-hmm. And is it the lump in the throat?
It's the lump in the throat.
Okay. And nothing else in the stomach?
Not at that point.
Okay. Even though I'm speaking it out loud now.
I'm speaking it out loud now.
And it's brought that up.
When
I remember getting to the car park at the church.
When I remember getting to the car park at the church.
And seeing everyone.
And
I feel this lump in my throat. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I accept myself. And how my body feels. Even though I remember getting to the car park at the church. And seeing everyone. My birth family. And I feel this 7 out of 10 lump in my throat. They keep telling me to get over it. I accept myself. And how I feel. Even though I remember pulling up in the church car park. And I feel this 7 out of 10 lump in my throat. When I see my birth family. Everyone there. Those people that keep telling me to get over it. I accept myself. And how I feel. This 7 out of 10 lump in my throat. When I see my birth family. Everyone's there. In the church car park. Get over it. This 7 out of 10 lump in my throat. Everyone there in the car park. All my birth family. For this christening. This 7 out of 10 lump in my throat. And I see everyone there in the car park. So what's that come down to? Seeing everyone there in the car park at the church.
Probably about a 4.
Mm-hmm. Does that feel low enough to move on? Or is there anything else in the body? Is it still the throat? Is it a lump or is it something else?
There's also a numbness that's just come over my body. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though I've got this numbness.
Sorry, Jenny, I thought this was a bit less. Even though I've got this numbness,
Let's just come over my body.
that's just come over my body.
And I still have 4 out of 10 lump in my
And
throat.
I still have 4 out of 10 lump in my throat.
When I see my whole birth family there.
When I see my whole birth family there, going, I have to say this because this is where it sits, going through the charade of a christening.
Going through the charade of a christening. I accept myself.
I accept myself
and how I feel.
and how I feel.
Even though in the church car park,
Even though in the church car park,
I see my whole birth family.
I see my whole birth family
going through the charade of a christening.
going through the charade of a christening.
And my whole body went numb.
And my whole body went numb.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and how I feel.
and how I feel.
Even though I remember being in the church car park,
Even though I remember being in the church car park,
seeing my whole family,
seeing my whole family,
birth family, going through this charade of a christening.
going through this charade of a christening.
And I still feel something in my throat.
Yeah, I can't speak.
I can't speak. And I've got this numbness in my body.
And I've got this numbness in my body.
I thank my body for holding on to it to protect me.
Oh, here it comes. I thank my body for holding on to me to protect me. For holding on to it to protect me.
But it's time to process and release it.
But it's time to process and release it now.
This numb feeling through my whole body.
This numb feeling through my whole body.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
My whole birth family.
My whole birth family.
Going through this charade of a christening.
Going through this charade of a christening.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can feel it in my throat.
I can feel it in my throat.
My whole body's gone numb.
My whole body's gone numb.
They tell me to get over
They
it.
tell me to get over it.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
My whole birth family.
My whole birth family.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
Feel it in my throat.
I can feel it in my throat.
My whole body going
My
numb.
whole body's gone numb.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
They tell me to get over
They
it.
tell me to get over it.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
My whole body gone numb.
My whole body gone numb.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
Get over it.
Get over it.
This charade of a
This
christening.
charade of a christening.
My body's numb.
My body's numb.
Get over it.
Get over it.
Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Heart down to the left. Heart down to the right. Circle your eyes slowly in one direction. Circle your eyes slowly in the other direction. Come back to here. This charade of a christening.
This charade of a
My
christening.
body's numb.
My body's numb.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
Get over it.
Get over it.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Count to 5. 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
Get over it.
Get over it.
They keep telling me to get over
They keep
it.
telling me, get over it.
This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
My birth family.
My birth family.
Feel it in my throat.
I feel it in my throat.
I can't speak.
I can't speak.
My whole body's gone numb.
My whole body's gone numb.
This charade of a christening.
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 Okay. What's there for you in your body in that part still? In the car park. Your birth family there. Going through this charade of a christening.
Oh, it's all dropped quite low. Yeah.
Anything else come up in that part? Any other thoughts?
No, just some good thoughts. I thought around, I had to remove myself to do the work, but then also a really warm acknowledgement within myself as, yeah, and you did and you honoured it, and that's okay. So, yeah, it's quite...
Okay, so that's come down.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you what just came up then? When you said the charade of a christening?
Yeah, it's part of that memory I had blocked, I think. Part of what the trigger, part of the trigger. Yeah.
Yep. Right, so coming back to the blue,
Yeah.
neutral place the night before. And tell me, speak through the rest of what happened.
So the night before with my family, my own family, lovely night. Get up the next morning, start to prepare. Don't want to go. Every fibre of my body doesn't want to go, but I've been doing this for a long time now, and it's my way of honouring them. So I go, I get to the car park, I get out. My sister-in-law and all her family have arrived in real designer clothes. That's where the charade part came in, because no one actually has any, none of them are practising in any kind of religion whatsoever. And it triggered me, yes, that it was a charade, like they don't believe this, they're putting it on, and I guess it triggered also the fact that I was never a part of that family and I never had, that with them, yeah. So that was where all the loading was in that. And I can now look at that and see that I actually kind of left my body at that point in time so that I could get through the process.
That's that numb feeling.
It was that numb feeling. So there is one more that I don't know how it will be when we get to it. So fast forward in the Catholic Church, and the priest is giving a sermon, and my birth mum is sitting one up from me, and the sermon is all around.
Just where is it in your body? Just thinking of the sermon. Where is it in your body?
It's back in my throat again, and
What
it's
is
in
that?
my heart, and it's gone through the roof.
Even though all this emotion's gone through the
So
roof.
I'll just finish saying the bit around it because it needs to be said.
Right.
So the sermon talks about the natural love of a mother for their child.
Even though the emotions have gone through the roof.
Even though the emotions have gone through the roof.
When I hear the priest speaking the sermon
When I hear the priest speaking the sermon.
about a mother's natural love for a child, and I feel this through the roof in my whole body, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though all these emotions come up when I remember hearing the priest speak about a mother's love for a child, and the emotions gone through the roof in my throat and my heart, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I remember hearing the priest's sermon about a mother's love for a child, and I feel it in my throat and my heart, and it's gone through the roof, I accept myself and how I feel. That priest's sermon, a mother's love for a child, my birth mother sitting 2 up from me, a mother's love for a child, a mother's love for a child. I feel it in my throat and my heart. A mother's love for a child. I call bullshit. A mother's love for a child.
Yeah.
A mother's love for a child. The priest's sermon. A mother's love for a child. My birth mother sitting 2 up from me. A mother's love for a child. I feel it in my throat and my heart. A mother's love for a child. This charade of a christening. The priest's sermon. A mother's love for a child. I feel it in my throat and my heart. A mother's love for a child. A mother's love for a child. My birth mother sitting 2 up from me. A mother's love for a child. I call bullshit. She adopted me out. A mother's love for a child. A mother's love for a child. This charade of a christening.
This charade of a christening.
A mother's love for a child.
A mother's love for her child.
The priest's sermon.
The priest and his sermon. What would he know?
How appropriate.
About a mother's love for her child.
How would he know? How would he know
How would he know?
about a mother's love for a child?
About a mother's love for her child.
She had me adopted out.
She had me adopted out, but we share that pain as well.
We share that pain.
We share that pain.
Maybe even part of me feeling her pain.
Yeah, exactly.
A mother's love for a child.
A mother's love for her child.
We share that pain.
We share that pain.
All the emotion
All the emotion
in my throat and my heart.
in my throat and my heart.
All the emotion.
All the emotion.
We share that emotion.
We share that emotion.
What would that priest know?
And with the priest, no, we share that feeling as well.
We share that feeling as well.
Can I swear?
Mm.
What the fuck would he know?
What the fuck would he know?
And I think, yeah,
Yeah.
we both sat in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we both
Sorry,
sat in
everyone.
that. We both sat in that.
we both sat in that.
All that emotion.
All that emotion.
It went through the roof.
It went through the roof.
The priest and his sermon.
The priest and his sermon.
What would he know?
What would he know? The nuns made her give me away.
The nuns made her give me away. The church.
The church.
What would the church know?
What would the church know?
It's
about
the
a mother's love for their daughter.
Yeah, it's the church's fault.
It's the church's fault.
The nuns made her give me away.
The nuns made her give me away.
This charade.
This charade.
The nuns made me give her away.
The nuns made her give me away.
Oh, this emotion.
All this emotion.
In the room.
In the room. We're all sharing.
We're all sharing. All this emotion.
This emotion.
What would the church know?
What would the church know?
The priest and his sermon.
The priest in his sermon.
What the fuck would he know?
What the fuck would he know?
It was nuns that made my mum give me away.
There was nuns in the church and she was a fallen woman.
She was a fallen woman.
She was a fallen woman. All that judgment.
All the church's fault.
All the church's fault.
All that judgment.
All that judgment.
The priest.
The priest
and
his sermon about a mother and her love for
about
her
a
daughter.
mother and her love for a daughter. It was the church that made her give me away.
It was the church that made her give me away.
What would the church know?
What would the church know?
The church is the cause of this.
The church was instrumental in all of this.
The church was instrumental in all of this. She was a fallen woman.
She was a fallen woman.
In the judgmental eyes of the church.
In the judgmental eyes of the church.
It's their fault.
It's their fault.
Deep breath. So thinking about that part, the judgmental,
Yeah.
the judgmental priest and the church. Our mother's love for its child.
Feels really good.
And when you tune into your mum sitting two up.
Yeah. It's a difficult and strong bond in that moment. And yeah, there's a lot of compassion because she hasn't forgiven herself yet.
Mm.
But that's amazing. That's taken the sting out of it, and instead of the fleeing, it's found a connection, which is really nice.
Even though mum hasn't forgiven herself yet.
Even though mum hasn't forgiven herself yet.
Choose to go and tap on mum. I choose to go and tap on mum.
I choose to go and tap on mum.
While she's sitting there in the church.
While she's sitting there in the church.
Hearing that priest talk.
Hearing that priest give his sermon.
About a mother's love for a child.
About a mother's love for her child.
And how she's feeling guilty.
And how she's feeling guilty.
Because the church made her give up her child.
Because the church made her give up her child.
And she hasn't forgiven herself yet.
And she hasn't forgiven herself yet.
And I let her know I understand.
I let her know I understand, but there's a wall of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there is a wall of resistance.
Yeah. And there is a wall of resistance.
But I let her know.
But I let her know.
It's okay for her to forgive herself.
For her to forgive herself. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though mum hasn't forgiven herself.
Even though mum hasn't forgiven herself.
And I'm tapping on her.
And I'm tapping on her.
And even though I still have a wall of resistance.
And even though I still have a wall of resistance.
About the judgmental church.
About the judgmental church.
And what they made her do.
And what they made her do.
I let her know it's okay for her to forgive herself.
I let her know it's okay for her to forgive herself.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Yeah, I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though mum's sitting there listening to that sermon.
Even though mum's sitting there listening to that sermon.
About a mother's love for her child.
About a mother's love for her child.
And I'm tapping on her.
And I'm tapping on her.
And there is still a wall of resistance.
And there is still a wall of resistance.
About the judgmental church.
About the judgmental church.
And what they made her do.
And what they made her do.
I let her know.
I let her know.
That it's time for her to forgive herself.
And it's time for her to forgive herself. And it's okay for me to feel whatever I feel.
And it's okay for me to feel whatever I feel.
Yeah.
Tapping on mum.
Tapping on mum.
Letting her know it's safe to forgive herself.
Letting her know it's safe to forgive herself. Letting her know it's time
Letting her know it's time.
to forgive herself. A life of blame
A life of blame
and guilt.
and guilt.
It's okay to let it go.
It's okay to let it go. All her anger about the judgmental church
All her anger about the judgmental church
and what they made her do.
and what they made her do. Her powerlessness.
Her powerlessness.
Yeah.
Her guilt
Her guilt
as a fallen woman.
as a fallen woman.
I let her know
I let
it's
her know.
time for her to forgive herself.
It's time for her to give herself. It's okay to look at her and not feel the shame. Look at me and not feel the shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay for her
To look at me and not feel the shame.
and the guilt.
Yeah, and the guilt. Yeah.
It belongs to the
It
church.
belongs to the church. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Letting her know it's safe for her to send it back to where it belongs.
Letting her know it's safe for her to send it back to where it belongs.
She was powerless.
She was powerless. Yeah.
It's time for her to forgive herself.
It's time for her to forgive herself.
I give her permission
I give her permission
to look at me without shame or guilt.
to look at me without shame or guilt.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So I would, again, for testing, get her to tell the whole story and make sure it's all done. But I think it's all done.
Yeah, it's all done.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.